In between matches, do you have any fresh injury concerns?
No, we're all good. Nathan's certainly picked up his fitness in the last 10 days being involved. He's done his mental strength good as well. I think it's good for him that he's back in the fold. Showed his worth certainly against Eastleigh when he came on and made the goal. And obviously again he got some minutes under his belt on Saturday. So Joe Rowley's also picked up his fitness as well. He's been back in the sessions. He'll be available for selection after this one. But he's travelling with the group down for extra fitness before Maidenhead as well.
Oh, that's good news then on two fronts.
Very good, yeah.
Tom Denton is the long-termer. He's what, a month or so out? How's his rehab coming along?
Yeah, it's hard to get any progress at the moment because obviously the operation that he had, he's in good spirits. He's around the group. Nick Brink's doing some great work with him, but he won't be available for the rest of the season. So we're looking in the summer for him. Obviously, that's a bit of a body blow for us for what he can do, but unfortunately, he won't be back on the pitch this season.
And have you already spoken to him about next season? Because he's one of the players that's up this summer.
Good question. Of course, he's in our thoughts of what we want to do next year because he's a striker that scores goals and he provides weapons that perhaps other strikers in League Two and the National League can't bring. So, of course, he's in our plans. We haven't spoken as yet because I don't want to bombard him with too much because obviously he's overcoming a serious injury. But, of course, he's in our plans.
With the rest of the squad as a whole after COVID stoppages and just midweek fixture after midweek fixture, you've had a full week's training, or the rare luxury of a full week's training. How beneficial has that been?
Well, with the isolation periods on top, it's been strange because we haven't had a full training week for a long time. But it's been good. The lads got some recovery in as well. We gave them an extra day off. They needed that. The effort in the last 5 games coming back off the isolation has been magnificent. The points return's been very, very impressive. But nothing's achieved over those 5 games and we've got to go again now.
No Curtis Weston. How much of an inconvenience is that for the first time this season?
Yeah, he's obviously played nearly every minute under me. He might have played every minute, I'm not sure. But I think he came off in the Sutton game because he was booked. In my second game, so he's been at the forefront of what we've been doing, but it gives someone else an opportunity, and that's why we've got the squad. You need a squad with the fixture congestion. We knew that as a board and as a first team management staff, and thankfully the board have backed me on what we wanted to do, and we've got the players in there now to come in and claim their shirt.
You've played over recent weeks essentially with 2 number 10s. Clearly the results have been fantastic. Are you persevering with that for the time being?
Oh, you'll find out tomorrow. We've changed it. We've played 2 strikers. We've changed the shape, obviously. But also, I don't really look at structure that way. I'd rather look at heat maps and see where players are played. And certainly in the last 2 games, we haven't played any wing-backs. We've played with 2 wingers.
Interestingly, just in terms of selection, how difficult has it been to leave out the likes of Hollis? Because prior to not playing, I mean, they were excellent as well. You could lob Evans in with that too, but Gunning and Rowe have taken on the mantle very well.
They have. But again, they're going to be part of it. They're going to come back into the team when I see fit and what I see in the opposition and how we can overcome it. And also with the fixture congestion as well. Physically, we've got to be right on our mettle because that's what we play with. We play with high energy. Our pressing game is in the top echelons of the league now. Our turnovers, our regains and where we're getting the ball back. And where we're also defending, our main duels are 20, 30 yards up the pitch from where they were when I took over. So that's probably been the most impressive thing, really, the territory. And long may it continue, home or away, we want to be on the front foot. Now, it hasn't worked out at Dagenham. We went down to 10 men. The Stockport game was a close game until the referee's decision. That's probably been our hardest test so far in terms of a game being even. But this one tomorrow, Maidenhead aren't on a great run, but they haven't played at home. They played away in the last 5 out of the last 6, I believe. So yes, they lost their last outing against Aldershot in a freak game. I watched the game back. The scoreline didn't reflect the game at all. We know what the conditions are going to be like there. I've been there a few times with Aldershot. It's a tricky game. So we have to respect what Alan's done there as a manager. They've certainly overachieved as a part-time team. and they've beaten us here, obviously, early in the year, before my tenure. So we know it's a difficult fixture. We're not underestimating them, and we'll see what the team selection is for us, and how to win the game.
Do you find that the type of analysis that you do, heat maps, etc., is more common now in the National League, or less so?
I think it's more common. I think it trickles down, doesn't it? So Sporting Director, for example, was only the Premier League. It's first abroad, comes into England, and then it's started to trickle down now, and League Two, National League teams have got Sporting Directors, for example. So structures are changing for the better or for the worse, because you can look at Bolton. Obviously, they changed their structure and they've got rid of their Sporting Director. And they've been on an upward curve since that moment. And they've continued to recruit, and obviously the manager at Bolton's taken full control of the recruitment. So it depends. Different clubs work in different ways, but I would say that heat maps, etc., I don't really look into what other teams are doing, but I would suggest that definitely the modern way, I would suggest that's in the National League, yes.
How extraordinary do you find it that with all the call-offs and it's affecting the whole across the National League, that Chesterfield can end tomorrow theoretically in the top 6 despite being 12th? It's just that close with so many teams. Yeah,
I think we're blessed to be in a situation where we can, because when I first took over, the first goal was 46 points would probably see you safe. I think that was objective 1 when I first walked in. We were second from bottom. That was the collective goal. We've nearly achieved. We're 10 points off that. So that as soon as that's achieved, that's 1 done. We're safe. And then it was, okay, can we get mid-table, objective 2, and recruit a group of players for next year. Now we've got, I think, 9 signed for next year, core that can play in League 2 or the National League. So we're really pleased with that, as well as bringing down the budget for next year, because those players' wages are below what we had or what we were paying for. So that's objective 2, and we've got that. At the moment, we're obviously around mid-table currently, and we've got 9 players signed for next year that can have an influence. And then objective 3, the dream, can we get in those playoffs? And we're not in the playoffs. We'll see where we are on May the 29th, but certainly those 3 objectives could be ticked off at the end of the season, which is exciting.
Just finally then, if we're on about stats, I don't know how aware you are of this, but should Chesterfield win down at Maidenhead tomorrow, then statistically you would be the most successful manager to start his Chesterfield career in the modern era. Does that type of thing resonate with you? How important is that type of thing?
It's a accolade I'll be proud of. Obviously, if we achieve that, of course. It's an honour to lead this club and lead the process, which I don't want to go around and speak about again. I've signed my new contract, committed my future to the club, and they've committed their future to me. It's both ways. It works both ways, and I'm just delighted to be here and have the opportunity to do that tomorrow with a group of players that are really enjoying what they're doing. It's a really fun environment to be in, and first and foremost, we wanted to do that. We wanted to be enjoyable, and I think everybody on and off the field that's connected with the club is enjoying this process so far, but results determine that, and you have to continue that momentum, and we've certainly got that at the moment, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
I know I said that was the final one, but just to latch onto something you said then, 9 players signed up already for next season. You've recently done a deal then with Asante because of his form recently. Are you currently working on anybody else you want to tie down and just get that done and out of the way?
We're always working. We'll see. There's always things. It's always moving ships or moving place or whatever you want to say in the game of football. Things can change quickly in a day, and we wanted to make sure we got a Quasi signed for next year because of his form, and also he's attracted obviously interest from other clubs, which naturally he's going to do with his 10 goals since he's arrived, let alone the goals he scored before at Gloucester with me. So he's a talented lad in the peak years. The other thing to remember is that we've also brought the peak age down. So our average age is around 28 now, which is impressive. That's what we want to do. We want players in their peak years, as well as some development players and some experienced players like Nathan. So it's a good mix. But we've got to play with high energy, and to do that, you need athleticism.
Great. Thanks. James. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Good morning, James. How are you?
Hi, Liam. How are you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good man. Yeah, everything's good. Yep, everything's good.
Good stuff. Was it a good? Did the week week off come at a good time or a bad time from your point of view?
You could look at it both ways when you've got your glass half full or your glass half empty, couldn't you? So, yes, we might have needed the break, but did we need the break? Because we played with great energy in the second half against Yeovil, really overrun them. Should have been more than 3-0, really, on the reflection of the game. If we would have been a little bit more ruthless. So you could take that momentum into the Tuesday game, but you could look at it both ways. It's a hard game tomorrow away from home on a tricky pitch that they know well, obviously the home side, and they use it to their advantage, and we've got to be ready for that, combat that, and respect what they do, the way they play, because there's no holy grail of playing football. They have a certain way of playing. I fully respect that, but we've got to make sure we influence it how we want to.
Does signing Kwasi Asante to a new contract extension show that you're thinking long-term and forward-thinking as a club now?
Well, I just spoke to just previously, just then, about our short-term objectives this season. Alongside that, you have your medium and you have your long-term objectives, and of course, signing probably your mainstay striker at the moment, you're scoring goals on a longer-term deal, fits into what we want to do.
Was that a reward for his performances then, or was there some serious interest in him as well?
Some serious interest. Of course, your main assets are always going to attract that interest in the fast-paced, moving world of football. You're always going to have teams that are interested in your assets. So it's important to time down on that front, but also because he fits into the way that we want to play. He's doing really well. He's scoring the goals. He could be a little bit more ruthless as well. He's had extra chances to score, even more than what he has. I think he'll admit that himself if you spoke to him. So there's always improvement. I think there's areas of the game that we can improve his game, and he can bring more to the team.
Was he probably one of the players who benefited most from this week with no midweek game due to how many games he has played? Well,
it was unusual to see the team play without him at the forefront of the attack in the last 15 minutes against Yeovil. So it's been obviously one of the only moments really he's come off the pitch. So perhaps you're quite right in what you said there. He would have benefited. They had an extra day off. So yeah, I'm expecting a performance full of energy from the team, not just him tomorrow.
And it's now 4 clean sheets in 5 for Grant Smith. How impressed have you been by him?
Yeah, he's commanded his 18-yard box really well. His distribution's been excellent. But as a team, I think we've defended, him included, I think we've defended the goal really well to restrict Eastleigh to no shots, and obviously Yeovil to only a couple on target from distance. I've been really impressed with our defensive side. When you talk about the defensive side, people think, defending the 18-yard box, etc. We've done that well, but ultimately our pressure points higher up the pitch, and our team cohesion when we're pressing the ball has been above probably what it has been before the isolation period. So I've been impressed how we've stepped forward on that front.
Has he got the number 1 shirt now?
Well, he has at the moment, but we'll see what the team lineup is tomorrow. I said both goalies will play their part. Adam's trained really well. He supported Grant, and that's what we've got to do. I can't commend obviously Will and Hayden any more than now really in what these words are, but they've come out of the team. Hayden right out of the squad, and he's been part of a backline that's been excellent this season since I've come in. And his training's been first class. The way he supported the other players that have come in his position, outstanding in the changing before the game and afterwards. So we're really getting a great team ethic, and I said that from the start. It's going to be a squad. Players are going to come into the team. They might come into the team right for skipping the bench right into the starting lineup, which is unusual as well, with no injuries. So I think we've shown that we can rotate the squad and still get results and still perform and still influence the game how we want to with players coming in and out of the team, which is where we want to be. It's a good place to be.
As you say, Hayden Hollis has been outstanding. What was your thinking behind just giving him dropping him out of the team for the last few games? Can he count himself a little bit unlucky, perhaps?
I think he can, yeah. I think he can. But if you're honest with players and you have those discussions, I'm not going to go into private discussions what I've had with the players and the reasoning behind too much about why I've done it. We've picked up 2 wins and 2 clean sheets since he's come out, but we've picked up clean sheets and wins when he's been in. So let's see what the team lineup is tomorrow.
Just finally, how big a boost is it to have Joe Rowe coming back? He was looking pretty sharp before his injury, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I was talking about Tom Denton just previously about what he can bring to a team, any team at this level in League Two, I believe. And also Joe Rowley, I think that he provides attacking play for sure, that perhaps other players in the squad can't provide, or other squads in this division. He can go both ways when he drives with the ball. He can start probably better than anyone I've seen at this level. It's just the other side now. He needs to train harder. He needs to train more consistently. He needs to do more work on the physical side in the gym with Nick now. And really we need to develop him, and hopefully the work that he's been doing off the field with the injury, because he's still been able to progress in other areas while he's been injured. Hopefully that will show when he comes back into the fold.
Thanks for your time, James.
Thank
See
you.
Tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
Morning, James.
Hi. Morning, Ian.
We've had the news that Vanarama will sponsor the National League and BT will continue for the next 3 years. Do you feel this continuity is important in the current situation?
It's a good question. Yes, of course. I think BT do fantastic coverage, certainly on the games I've seen, and also with the punditry and the expertise for sure. It's great news for the National League for sure. I think them covering it. Also the Vanarama, yeah, it's great that the sponsor continues. Their coverage also on social media and stuff I follow, and it's great. So on both fronts, yeah, it can only be good news for the league.
Has the break been a help or a hindrance in terms of momentum?
Look at it both ways, Ian. I think that we played so well in the second half against Yeovil in particular. The whole game in general, really. We've got to remember that we have no divine right to dominate a 94-minute game, or whatever it is, 95 minutes, 96, 92. The other team, they're not just going to roll over and say, go and take the points. They're going to have a spell. They're a good team, Yeovil. They're in great form, coming into the best form in the league in the last 6, coming into that game last Saturday. They're going to have a spell, and it worked out that the first 15 minutes they didn't really overrun us, or they didn't have loads of chances. It was a tight game for the first 15, 20 minutes. Then we took over, really impressed with us. So you could say, yes, we want to continue that on the Tuesday night if we had a fixture. We didn't, and we get a rest. So I'm expecting a performance tomorrow full of energy, full of drive, and hopefully coming home on that coach with the 3 points.
Do you feel the loss of Curtis is a blow to the continuity of the winning team?
Give someone else an opportunity is how we look at it. He'll certainly be supporting the group, and whoever comes in his position, I'm sure he'll support fully. And we'll see what happens tomorrow in regards to whether Curtis comes back into the team on Tuesday.
Maidenhead have had mixed results, and they haven't had a win since January. What do you expect from them tomorrow?
Well, they're closer to a win for sure, because they're not going to continue on that run of form, especially with their experienced manager. They're going to be really up for it. A lot of those games since January have been away from home. If you look at their fixture list, I think they've only played 1 at home, have they, since then, or maybe 2, and they've had 6 away, 5 or 6 away. So, they're impressive at home. They have been in the 3 years that they've been in the National League. I've been there a few times, obviously, in my previous role, and I know hopefully I can use that to our advantage, knowing what kind of ways they'll try and penetrate us. So, it's going to be a test. It's a different type of challenge. I've said that as well. You have different teams that pose different challenges. We'll be fully prepared, and we'll be ready to go.